Hi everyone. The new series of workbook lessons of our Course in Miracles start with an introduction that says our next few lessons make a special point of firming up your willingness to make your weak commitment strong. Your scattered goals blend into one intent. Right? He knows the human mind, right? He says, no, your commitment is weak, right? We need to make that stronger. And your goals are all scattered, right? We need to unify the goal, right? Your awakening happens through a unified goal of wanting to wake up. He says, you're not asked for total dedication all the time as yet, but you're asked to practice now in order to attain the sense of peace such unified commitment will bestow, if only intermittently, right? It's only by accepting a unified goal that you'll experience the peace of God. As long as you don't, you have all these conflicting goals and peace is impossible, right? So this is kind of the introduction to the lesson. Beautiful. And it says, our lessons now are geared specifically, listen to this, to widening horizons and direct approaches to the special blocks that keep your vision narrow and too limited to let you see the value of our goal. Widening horizons, right? Widening your consciousness. Human consciousness is very narrow, right? As you wake up, you widen your consciousness, you widen your horizons, right? You're open to receiving, right? You have an open mind, if you will, right? And approaching the special blocks that keeps your vision narrow. Again, those blocks that keep you from expanding your consciousness are now specifically being addressed for you to release them. Beautiful. We are attempting now to lift these blocks, however briefly, and words alone cannot convey the sense of liberation which the lifting brings. This is true, right? The freedom, the relaxation that comes about by the removal of the blocks to love's awareness, to love's presence, is beyond what can be expressed in words, right? It's beyond what anything this world can give to you. Huh? But the experience of freedom and of peace that comes as you give up your tight control of what you see speaks for itself, right? I love that. Your tight control, right? You have a tight control over what you're going to see because you see what you want to see, right? Nothing more, nothing less, right? Stepping back and allowing to be shown, right, is giving up that tight control. That's what sets you free. That the mission, I don't know how to look upon this. Show me, right? Step back. So this is beautiful. And so we start our journey. Listen to this. And so we start our journey beyond words. Beyond words. By concentrating first on what impedes your progress still, right? You have to remove those blocks. There's no sense in trying to practice this course without addressing the blocks. It doesn't work like that. You can't raise your frequency without first addressing what impedes your progress, what holds you back, right? Without first looking at the blocks and letting them go. Huh? Experience of Experience of what exists beyond defensiveness remains beyond achievement while it is denied. It may be there, but you cannot accept its presence. Love it is, right? So that's kind of the introduction to the next sequence of lessons. Now, listen to the lesson 181. I love this lesson. It's called I Trust My Brothers Who Are One With Me. You go like, well, yeah, of course I trust my brother. No, no one trusts their brother, right? You're here because you don't trust your brother. No one trusts anyone in this world, right? The moment you trust one brother entirely, you trust all brothers entirely. It's that simple. Again, it's that the nature of true perception or the transfer of training in true perception, right, is different than the transfer of the training in the world. It says trusting your brothers is essential to establishing and holding up your faith in your ability to transcend doubt and lack of sure conviction in yourself. Why? Because trusting your brother is trusting yourself, right? Again, we got to remember there isn't anyone out there. You put him there, right? So you separated yourself from your brother. And now it's only distrust because what? Now he's someone else. But he isn't, is he? He's just you, right? You've separated yourself from him, so he seems to be someone else, but he isn't someone else. So by not trusting him, you're not trusting yourself, right? And therefore, you'll never trust anything because you don't even trust yourself. Right? Trusting your brother is trusting yourself. When you attack a brother, you proclaim that he is limited by what you've perceived in him. You do not look beyond his errors, by the way, which are your errors. Again, right? It always comes back to you, doesn't it? They're your errors. Rather, they're magnified, becoming blocks to your awareness of the self that lies beyond your own mistake. Love this, right? Right? Perception as a focus. Next line. It is this that gives consistency to what you see. Why? You see what you want to see. You don't, not less, not more, right? Whatever you see is what you're allowing yourself to see, not more, not less than that. Right? In that sense, the world literally is a projection of your own mind. Beautiful. Remove your focus on your brother's sins and you experience the peace that comes from faith and sinlessness. Beautiful, right? We instruct our mind that it is this we seek and only this for just a little while. We do not care about our future goals. Right? It's all about being right here, right now. Right? It's not about future goals. Future goals are meaningless. It somehow proclaims that there's something that you want that you don't have now. Instead, you're way better off just accepting that, wait a minute, what I have is right here, what I'm looking for is right here, right now. It's not going to be in the future. Huh? A major hazard to success has been involvement with your past and future goals. I love that, right? Listen, lesson number 7 says that you have to change your mind about time, right? You think time really runs on. It doesn't, right? All time is going on all the time, right? So that shift in thinking or that shift in looking at time has to change, right? Beautiful. The past is gone, the future imagined. These concerns are but defenses against present change of focus and perception, right? You're constantly preoccupied with the past or the future, which is the same thing, right? I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with the past, right? These are the lessons, right? And the reason that is so is that all you remember is that first attack upon yourself, and therefore you see it in everything. And you do not allow yourself to be right here, right now. The moment you do, there's the peace of God. Because it's right here, right now. It isn't anywhere else. Beautiful. We recognize that we have lost this goal if anger blocks our way in any form. Yeah. Fact, right? If you're angry, it doesn't matter what form is, what you think the reason for your anger is, but the moment you feel that, you're lost, right? Anger or annoyed, right? Same thing. Beautiful. What a lesson. Wow. The world which once proclaimed our sin becomes the proof that we are sinless. And our love for everyone we look upon attests to our remembrance of the holy self which knows no sin and never could conceive of anything without its sinlessness. We seek for this remembrance as we turn our minds to practicing today, right? That memory is still in you. It hasn't gone anywhere. So that's what we want to remember right here, right now. That's what our practicing is geared to. We're not concerned about the future. We're not concerned about the past. We're concerned with this present moment because only in this present moment lies that memory. And the memory lies or becomes available, if you will, by practicing these lessons. Because literally, as we practice these lessons, that shift in thought, right, takes place to align itself with the thought system that this course teaches, right? And away from the thought system of the world, which is fully preoccupied with the past. So yeah, truly, this is an entirely new way of thinking. You will not be able to keep thinking like you used to when you practice these mind training lessons of A Course in Miracles. You will change because you are your thoughts, right? Change is impossible, and you will not understand how you once used to think like the world does still, right? Because nothing the world believes is true, right? Because you've moved on, you've raised your frequency by changing your mind, and that slow way of thinking, that conflictual thinking, that doubt, that self-doubt, if you will, is no longer there for you when that happens, right? So then anything that suddenly was a problem in the world before no longer is a problem. Someone says, well, I got a sickness. And you go like, what do you mean? The sickness is a choice, right? That's how you react to that, right? Or, oh, I've got a problem. I said, wait a minute, but the only problem that you have is that you're separate from God, but you're not, right? However you want to address that, you can't really find the problem anymore. And when you're presented with it, you go like, yeah, but that's not so, right? You go like, wait a minute, none of this is real. Why is this an issue, right? It's that way of thinking and that fast, immediate correction, right, applied to everything without exception. That is how you know you've moved on from your old, slow, worldly self to an entirely new you, right? That is a foreboding, if you will, right, of your true self as God created you. So, beautiful lessons. Read the lesson for today. The next lesson, maybe I'll do another lesson tomorrow, is one of my favorites, which is I will be still and instant and go home. Maybe we'll do that some other day. But today's lesson, I trust my brothers who are one with me, right? Trust is required. It's one of the main characteristics of a teacher of God. He trusts. Why would you not trust if you know who your brother is? He's you. He's your perfect self. He's your savior. Why would you not trust him? Except what? That you've forgotten who you are. So thank you for joining me today. Huh? We do support each other in our awakening, don't we? Right? For those of us who are undergoing a spiritual awakening, we know full well what we're going through and what everyone, a single one of us, is going through. Maybe not specifically, but it's all the same stuff, right? Specifics, forms differ, but the content is the same, right? You're undergoing through a complete reassociation of your own thought form idea of yourself to an entirely new idea that cannot be described in words, right? Which is far beyond your worldly self, and yet it is as close to who you really are as you can be. I love you. I hope you have a great, great day, and I'll see you soon.